Do you guys ever get that feeling that, well, things might just be coming to a close? We got the max tier reactor here, pushing out about 6,000 FE a tick, and that's keeping these guys running non-stop until the data cards run out at least. But I've got backup data cards for when that happens, and we got no shortage. You see 6,000 gold there, almost 6,000 iron. So with no shortage of items, we can even afford to be a little wasteful. You can't destroy these things. Well, we can just give them to the cows. What would have absolutely gutted me at the beginning of the season is now not even a serious concern, as we can just craft another 100 without even really feeling it. So yeah, things are coming to a close. I'm pretty happy with where we've come with the season. Remember, we had a few goals, one of which was to not do any modern industrialization, and another was to get familiar with Applied Energistics 2, which I think we've done here, connecting it to a whole bunch of different systems, a couple of different farms for wood, animals, produce. We're using Industrial Revolution and Tech Reborn to process all our ore, including these shiny mining rigs, which means that we're never going to run out of any ore or any items really. And we took a pretty big bite out of a lot of these mods. I'd say we did a good enough job. Now, I said I would show off this auto brewing station, but I never actually did. Well, we may as well do it now because we'll be needing it in a little bit. Yeah, nothing too complicated. We've just got ME connected to a pattern provider here, and you insert into this pattern provider the recipes that you want. So here we have 1 fermented spider eye plus 3 water bottles will give you 3 potions of weakness, and then those 3 potions plus a gunpowder will give you 3 splash potions. That just feeds it into a barrel, which servo outputs into the brewing stand, which then servo outputs back into ME. You could possibly have blaze powder come in as well, but seeing as blaze powder is itself an ingredient for some recipes, I thought it best we would just do that manually because we don't want to be crafting up the wrong potion. So now if we were to say give us 9 splash potions of weakness, it'll come into this chest, get output into the brewing stand, and then gunpowder onto them to get the splash potions. The only tricky thing you have to do is to set this here to blocky mode. Do not push crafting ingredients if inventory contains a pattern input. So that means as long as there's stuff in the barrel waiting, don't push it in. It's a similar kind of setup we had here for our energizing orb, which is a really neat trick. Now we're going to need all those splash potions because my soft, squishy little cube-shaped heart is just breaking for what's been happening to our neighbors over here. Not only is their village overrun with these illager SOBs, which let's be honest, nobody wants, but it looks like they've also been infected with the zombie virus. And what's more, they're right on the tip of another village. I think it's our duty to contain the virus before it spreads, save this lot, and protect that lot from infection. All right, we'll get to that in a minute, but there's something that I've been wanting to do for a while now, but keep getting distracted. And that is Hex. Do you guys remember Hex? I'm sure you guys all remember Hex, that super cool magic mod that we played with at the start of the season, making a few basic things like these torch here. What else? We had one that exploded things. Well, that was really just scratching the surface with Hex. There's a few other things I want to play with today, but for that, we're going to need a better source of amethyst. And we got this little geo down here that we found, not too far from our base, so these guys keep on growing in. But honestly, who can remember to keep coming down here to collect all this stuff? And it's kind of annoying. You got to use your fortune on things. These blocks aren't close enough together for us to be able to just pick up everything in one go. But maybe you get down here and things aren't ready to harvest yet. Or the geode itself is kind of in an annoying spot outside of your render chunk, so then you'll have to come and claim the chunk. Look, this one happens to sit across 4 chunks. You have to force load all of them, and then your frames are going to take a hit. So yeah, you could do that, but it'd be so much more convenient if we could take these budding amethyst blocks back to our home base, set them up in an optimal position, and then maybe automate them or just farm them manually whenever they look ready. That way you're not going to forget, and yeah, your life will be so much easier. Of course, there is the amethyst ore from Spectrum, but unfortunately, it's also not allowed to be put on a data card. Otherwise, you could just spawn in infinite amounts of the stuff, and you'll never have to worry about doing this, so that's not a possibility. There are a few block breakers, like this one from Kibay, and this one from Redstone Bits. What they do is break the block that's in front of them, and hold it in his inventory. Unfortunately, neither of these seem to work with the budding amethyst blocks themselves. It just knocks them out of existence. Then we have the cut assembler from Create, which if you give it a redstone signal, will pick up whatever block it's holding on. And then with your wrench, you can only pick those items up. But it looks like they've disabled it for the budding amethyst blocks, which is, I don't blame them. You'll see here it works with other blocks just fine, but not at all for the budding amethyst. So unfortunately, that's not an option either. Oh, and before you ask, yeah, you can't cardboard box them. That would be too easy. God forbid they try and make this process easy for us. But what you can do, there is one block that does work, and that's the block breaker from Tech Reborn, which requires just a little bit of power and a little bit of patience. And there it is. We've got ourselves a budding amethyst, and you can just put that anywhere you want, and it will grow. It doesn't ruin the block or anything like that. It will still grow. It will still grow shards eventually. Ta-da! Right. So you can just kind of take an energy cell or some kind of battery, take your block breaker, go around and remove these guys one by one, and then make yourself a farm back home. But why go to all that hassle when you can just silk touch an exchange gadget? BRB. Okay, this costs way more levels than I was prepared for. And I haven't got an XP farm set up because I'm trying to do a slim playthrough. But you need this stuff, right? Maybe this extraterrestrial matter will give us enough. Oh, that's delicious. 2,400. 32, I need 36. Okay, finally. Whew. All right, so where were we? Down here. With this exchange gadget from Structure Tools, which is the fabric port of building gadgets, you can just exchange blocks for other blocks, silk touched, and we also get it as a budding amethyst. So, I mean, levels notwithstanding, this is a far easier way to collect up all these budding amethyst blocks and take them back home with us. Yeah, not so hard at all. And that gave us 40 budding amethyst blocks, which is probably more than we'll ever need. But of course, you can always go get some more from other geodes, which are, let's be honest, all over the place. So why don't we do something similar with the destruction gadget here? I'm kind of a little bit nervous about playing around with this, because it completely destroys the blocks that are inside. Can you undo it? And you can't undo it either. Oh, that's risky. But if we clear ourselves out an area like this, we can take those budding amethyst blocks and set up a bit of a farm and space them out so that there's room on either side for shards to grow. And we do that in all directions, and then we can just come here whenever we want, get our fortune pickaxe out, and hit all the shards at the same time. And as you can see, this is right below our base. So why don't we just set an anchor here, call this amethyst. And from wherever we are, kind of in this area, we can just head down and collect these shards. So I'll just set up the rest of it and we'll be right back. 712s are what, 84? So we've got 84 budding amethyst blocks here. I went and raided a couple others. And we got 11 spare. And when these amethyst buds grow up to become full crystals, you can just fortune them all at once and collect yourself a bucket load. Yeah, you can automate this with like pistons and stuff. But I played around in creative, and the amount of amethyst, like dust and crystals and stuff that they drop from the harvest is just tiny compared to fortune. So I'd much rather do it like this. And besides, we have quite a healthy amount of that stuff now as it is. Oh, looks like our netherite's ready. I haven't forgotten about you guys. I just have to do a little prep with Hex Casting first. So let's have a quick look-sees. All that's left for us to get is the spellbook. So let's do that. Spellbook. Now, obviously, I had a bit of a play around first in creative. This is an actual book. Like, maybe you can hear me clicking on it there. Nothing's really happening. What this does is it stores the spells, much like focuses and and trinkets and things like that. It stores them conveniently on a bunch of different pages. So it looks like we've just got an empty spellbook now. You shift and scroll. See here it's set there. It says selected page 0 of 0. I'm hoping that means that we're just on page 1. I'm not very good at waiting. I've got to open these bags now. White elevator, some food, some cogs, magic epic loot bag. Gave us a soul crystal shard from Spirit. We'll have to save that for next season. If you want, if you're a sucker like I was, you can carry around a trinket or an artifact, which is one better than a trinket. Or if you're real cheapskate, even ciphers. You can carry around one for each spell. And let's not forget, there are an enormous amount of spells for all kinds of things. You can do that if you're a sucker. Or you can get yourself a spell book, and each page can contain its own spell. So obviously you need to get to the end first to get that chorus for it. We should be able to write some of those spells onto this book, including a surprise new one. Well, I guess we're stuck with Bad Omen for a little bit. So you'll probably remember this screen. Let's get somewhere we can actually see. All right, bit of a refresher. So you'll recall this, this one. Diamond says, hey, that's me. You say, what's my location? What's my look vector? Put them together. I should double check my math. Oh, not carrying enough amethyst. Okay, so let's go about getting that light spell as a starter, just a starter, on the first page of our spell book. So let's put the spell book in our offhand and write the spell. So open brackets, me as an entity, my position. This converts that entity into a vector. I think that's the correct terminology. My look vector, the block I'm looking at, and then again, me, my look vector, the face of the block I'm looking at. Hope I didn't get those confused. Multiply those two numbers to get the face of the block I'm looking at. So it'll make this calculation for every side of the block we're looking at, whether it's the top, bottom, or one of the sides. And then I think it's cast light, close, and then you write it with this one. So now page 1 will have light. So let's craft up an artifact with, oh yeah, we don't got plenty of those ones. And on this artifact here, we're going to make it what's called a CAD trinket, cast in assistant device trinket. And what it's going to say is, with the spell in the offhand, so we choose light, when we activate the artifact by right-clicking, it'll do the spell. No matter what the page is, it'll perform that spell. If that makes sense. So we've got two things. We'll come back to Hermes Gambit. This here, Scribe's Gambit, is what we did earlier, where it saves what you've got on the stack. It saves the spell you've got on the stack on something. A second ago, we saved it into the spell book, into page 1 of the spell book. But to retrieve that spell, you do the same pattern, but in reverse. So see, it's anti-clockwise. And what Hermes Gambit does is, once you pull a spell back onto the stack, it'll cast it, as if you had drawn it from scratch. So we need those two spells on this artifact in order to activate what's in my hand, in order to activate the spell in my hand. All right, let's see how we go. So let's write it as a formula first. Anti-clockwise to retrieve the spell. And Hermes Gambit to execute it. That's the spell we want. So let's save that on our focus in our offhand right now. Throw some charged amethyst on the ground. Oops, turn off our magnet. Throw some charged amethyst on the ground. Say, hey, how you doing? What am I looking at? I'm looking at some charged amethyst. I forget what this one's called, but it tells you the entity that you're looking at. So me, my look vector, what entity does it collide with? It collides with some charged amethyst. Let's, from the focus that we've got in our offhand now, let's retrieve the spell from the focus, and let's write these two things onto this artifact. So it'll write the spell and it'll use the amethyst here as like currency. This one's freaking complicated. To craft artifact, it's this guy. Horns and legs. So I'm going to choose to remember it. Horns and legs. Fingers crossed. All right. So with light as our chosen spell, we should just be able to right click now with the artifact in our hand. That's a huge relief. And it doesn't cost too much dust either, which is cool. Okay, that's one spell. That's one spell. That's not so exciting. But we have a bunch of other spells in our arsenal to play with. For this, we're going to need a volunteer. All right, you go down there for now. Here's our little volunteer friend. We want to say, what is the entity I'm looking at? So it's the same old, me, my look vector. But this time we do Scout's Distillation, which should give us sheep. Yeah. And so that entity we want to inflict levitation, which is a crazy anti-clockwise. And then it's a triangle. Oh my god. Expected 2 or more arguments, but stack was only 1 tall. Oh, it needs a number. Entity and number. Okay. I didn't give it a value. Let's give it a number. 1, just to test it out. And we'll try that again. Oh, that's the 1 must be the time that it levitates for. And what's the cost on this? Is 1 amethyst dust per 10 seconds. Well, I think the lowest amount you can use is 1 dust, isn't it? So why not just do it for 10 seconds then? Entity I'm looking at, the number 10, and combine those two. Don't go too far, buddy. See ya. 10. Did I catch? Oh, apparently I didn't catch him in time. Alright, we can't have our test patient here dying on us, so we need a new volunteer. Alright, let's write that onto a spell then. So, page 2 is going to have... And then we write that to page 2 by going clockwise. So now we should be able to go light, levitate. Just don't go flying too far. Can't seem to shake that bad omen effect, but we'll just have to live with it. Right, we got a village to save. What else can we use? What other tools can we use? We can put down lights, we can levitate things. Wasn't able to figure out how to slow them down. There are more than one ways to slow things down. So let's try this out instead. Me, the direction I'm looking, the entity that collides with, a number, which we can do 1 divided by 2, 0.5. I know numbers can be kind of tricky, but see, you see here, you draw the pattern, and then you go forward to add 1, and then if you take a sharp right, it divides it by 2. So you go 1, sharp right, divide by 2. So now we have the entity we're looking at, 0.5, then a small triangle inside a big triangle. Makes a cute little cow. A permanently baby cow. Which also cuts down on its speed. What if we made this guy double size? So just 2. You can barely fit in there. Careful not to step on anyone. Where's that little one going? There he is. Oh. That's so cool. I think we need another one. Oh my god! That is a cow, alright. Oh my god. That's a perfectly normal sized cow. I don't understand what all the fuss is about. Because it's likely to wreak havoc on the world. Raid? Oh. Alright, I guess we're doing a raid then. Battle stations. Really nothing to worry about. Except for the fact that we seem to be suffering some huge server lag. Quick server reset. Alright, let's see how that goes. You need to go. They are coming to get you and they will not take prisoners. What's the matter, guys? You seem stuck. There you go, little buddy. I really hope this is the last one. So I've got better things to do today. Why would you come out here to watch? Are you sweaty? As I was saying, let's leave this guy here for now where there's no risk of them trampling anybody. We'll get ourselves maybe 3 stacks or 4 stacks of golden apples and a bunch of splash potions of weakness. Obviously more than we'll ever need there. And I'm going to write just 1 or 2 more spells onto our little book here. And then we'll be ready to go and liberate this village. Hold on, guys. I'm coming. Hold on. Just hold on, guys, will you? All right, let's go save us a village. It's game time. Look out there, little ones. You're going to get trotted on. Okay, this is ridiculous. I'm way too big. Hmm? Oh! Way too small. Look out! Good luck hitting such a small target. Can they not see me? Am I so tiny that they can't even see me? I'm like a singular pixel. I've snuck behind enemy lines. Hey! Alright, how are we gonna do this? I think I'm too weak to break it. Alright, no more playing around. Alright, come on guys, this way. We can get them to follow us into the pit. That's it guys, this way. No, wrong hole. Bro, you gotta stop killing them. Ah, you done goofed, man. You get a shrink, and you get a shrink. Hey, and you get a shrink. Oh, the things I do for these villagers. These guys better be grateful after all this. We are gathered here today for the grand curing and judgment upon these pillagers who not only enslaved this village. You guys keep it down, I'm trying to do my big speech. So rude. Who not only enslaved this village, but did nothing to cure the zombie virus. So we shall take it upon ourselves to cure these poor stricken souls. Hopefully I brought enough apples. Alright, I guess that's everyone. Hope that's everyone. If we can just keep their focus on us, they shouldn't attack each other when they turn back. Why would you come back in here? Get out of here, villagers. I'm giving you an exit, now take it. Did we get them all? Now's the test. Got two little bambinis here. Hey, bambini, come back. We just couldn't reach him before. There's a little baby. Alright, listen up everyone. It is me, the hero of the village. I've cured you of the zombie virus, and I've freed you from the tyranny of the pillagers here. Even though they're a bunch of massive SOBs, at heart I'm a pacifist and can't in good conscience kill them. Now I'd say at least half of them have seen the error of their ways and ready to hang out with you guys in a peaceful way. Oh yeah, by the way, I fixed that whole monster spawn problem that you were having. Got a big torch in there, so as long as you stay within 8 chunks, you guys are going to be sweet. Okay, I'm going to let you out now. And what you do with them is up to you. It's your village now. I've done my good deed of the day. Where you go next is up to you. Alright, but you won't forget about them, will you? Right, well I can't exactly leave with you guys locked up like this. You've seen the error of your ways. You've seen the error of your ways. You love to see it. Pillager and villager living together in harmony. Together at last. Right, well, I'd say that's my good deed of the day. Let's leave these guys to their new life and maybe go check on the amethyst. What, a horse? How did I end up on a horse? That's odd. What the? Ah! Oh my god! I didn't sign up for this! Oh, get me out of here! Oh! Ah! Leave that poor turtle alone! Oh, turtle! Where am I?
It is time for you to grow up, young frog. The Mojangverse is unstable. Worlds are falling apart from neglect. Projects abandoned, left unfinished. Mega builds falling into disrepair.
Yeah, okay, I'm not really vibing with all this, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to have a good time, you know? Besides, I really gotta get back. I think I left the stove on or something.
I know you have a lot of things on your mind, but nothing could possibly matter more than this conversation we're having right now concerning the fate of every single world of our infinite Mojangverse. We need you to step up and help restore order.
Whoa, order? I don't know, that sounds a bit fashy, you know?
Well, not like that. More like what your kind might call fully automated luxury space communism.
Yeah, I've never been too hot on that idea either. Unlimited production on a finite planet seems pretty naive, at best. More realistically, it's an invitation for capitalist zones of hyper-extraction, which will destroy lands and people, so what? Some Silicon Valley schmuck can drive their ugly Tesla and pretend that they're saving the planet? Carbon offsets are a scam.
Just chill out, Frog. This isn't the place for that. You have so many goals you never finished, dreams you never followed. You're living the worst version of yourself.
Yeah, okay. In that case, I accept this noble quest. Spill the deets.
Laid forth in this book are a series of challenges you must complete to restore a balance. Now go, little frog, and take this with you. We'll be praying to ourselves that you don't meet the same fate as the others.
Wait, what do you mean, others?
No time for that now. Good luck, and me speed.
Here we go again. Tell these guys know that I'm afraid of heights. Well, I guess that's the end of this season then. Sorry everyone, I don't make the rules. Hope you had fun. I definitely did, and I couldn't be more excited to be jumping into a new series of All of Fabric 6. That's right, I said 6. Real soon. Who knows, maybe I'll see you there. Bye for now.